Long before humans built cities, before the sound of machines echoed across the earth, there roamed a creature of grace and quiet strength, the deer. Silent wanderers of the forest, their story was not just one of survival, but of beauty, adaptability, and timeless connection with nature. From ancient myths to modern wilderness, deer carried secrets in their gentle eyes, secrets that revealed the rhythm of life itself. The birth of a fawn. In the hush of a hidden meadow, a fawn once lay curled in the tall grass. Its tiny body, speckled with white spots, blended perfectly with the dappled sunlight that filtered through the leaves. The newborn's legs trembled as it struggled to stand for the first time. It waited for its mother to return, as she had gone to feed, leaving the fawn cloaked in stillness and scentless safety. The doe returned only at intervals, nursing her young before slipping away again. This strategy had protected countless generations of fawns, for their stillness often kept predators from noticing them. In those early days, silence had been the fawn's greatest shield. Growing through seasons. As weeks turned into months, the fawn grew stronger. Its spots slowly faded, replaced by the warm brown coat that marked its transition into adolescence. No longer fragile, the young deer learned to leap and run, its muscles designed for both speed and agility. Deer could sprint at nearly 60 kilometers per hour, but what truly set them apart was their ability to leap, up to 10 feet high and 30 feet long in a single bound. This gift of movement became its shield against predators, a testament to nature's balance between hunter and prey. The language of the herd. The young deer also learned the silent language of its kin. When danger threatened, elders stamped their hooves, warning others of unseen peril. Mothers called their fawns with soft bleats, guiding them through the undergrowth. During times of gathering, ears flicked, tails lifted, and subtle gestures spoke of things no words could describe. Though their voices were rarely raised, deer carried an entire system of signals, perfected long before humans studied them. Their senses sharpened every lesson. The twitch of an ear caught the faintest sound, and their wide eyes picked up the flicker of movement long before predators revealed themselves. Trials of the wild. The forest had turned restless by early autumn. The air grew dry, the leaves painted themselves in fire, and the deer sensed it. It was a season of change, and with change came danger. Once, just after twilight, she had frozen mid-step. A lynx had passed nearby, its scent sharp, its movement barely a whisper. She hadn't needed to see it. Her keen sense of smell had warned her long before her eyes could. Deer could detect predators from over 300 meters away, especially when the wind turned in their favor. She had known, too, not to run without purpose. Her large ears, independently rotating, picked up even the subtlest footfalls. That night she had chosen silence, and the lynx had moved on. Autumn's test, the rut. The cool scent of fall brought tension to the woods. The bucks returned, antlers high and spirits higher. They were restless, fueled by instinct. The rut had begun. She stayed away from their paths, but she heard the echoes, the clash of antlers, the heavy steps, the sudden silence after a contest. Bucks shed and regrew antlers every year, each time larger, driven by testosterone. During rut, they stopped eating and focused only on mating. Some fought until one buck stumbled back, breathless and defeated. Others stood off silently, intimidation alone deciding the victor. Nature did not waste energy where it didn't have to. To her, it was a season of caution. While the bucks battled for dominance, the forest turned unpredictable. The call of the rut. By the time the first frost touched the branches, the forest had changed again. The bucks returned, older, broader, heavier, with their antlers sharpened and their tempers shortened. She had watched them from a safe distance, antlers locked in contests of dominance. The air rang with the dull crack of bone against bone. Antlers, made of true bone, grew back each year, larger and stronger than before, up to an inch per day during summer growth, encased first in soft velvet fed by blood vessels. They weren't fighting for sport. They were fighting for legacy. The strongest among them would sire the next generation. The others would watch from the edge of the woods, nursing bruised pride. Winter's test. The first snow fell silently, dusting the earth like powdered bone. By midwinter, the forest was buried. Food grew scarce, and so the herd shrank its movements. She joined others, forming a loose group. Deer were not truly herd animals, but in winter, they often grouped together to conserve heat and find forage. They took turns pawing at the snow, unearthing brittle leaves and hidden moss. Her metabolism slowed, just as it did every winter, conserving energy. The younger deer shivered often, their coats thinner, less insulating. By winter, a deer's coat had 2 layers, a dense underfur and hollow guard hairs that trapped heat like insulation. It wasn't always enough. New beginnings. The thaw brought with it both relief and purpose. Her body, awakened by spring, moved differently now. There was life growing within her. She sought solitude, traveling to a grove she had visited once as a fawn. Does often returned to quiet, hidden places to give birth, just as their mothers had done. There on damp moss beneath budding branches, she gave birth to a single fawn, its coat speckled with white, its breath shallow but determined. Newborn fawns were scentless for the first week, and their instinct was not to run, but to freeze. It was this stillness that protected them from hawks, foxes, and even the silent claws of bobcats. She left it often, just as her mother once had, not from neglect, but from necessity. Her absence drew danger away. Her return, always careful, was a lesson repeated with every generation. Memory of the ancients. Years passed, and with them, understanding. She no longer startled at every broken twig. Her body bore scars, one from a low branch during a storm, another from a near escape along a frozen creek, but she moved with confidence. Her senses had not dulled. Even into old age, a deer's hearing and smell remained its greatest tools, and she had begun to guide the young, nosing them gently when they strayed, stamping when danger neared. The stamping of a foreleg was one of the few warning signals deer used within a group. It wasn't spoken, but it was heard. One evening, as she stood watching fireflies blink over a flooded meadow, she thought of her first winter, her first fawn, her first flight from danger. All those memories swirled together like leaves carried by the river. The ecological role. Deer played a critical role in shaping their environment. Their grazing helped maintain open areas within dense forests, encouraging the growth of diverse plants and providing habitats for other animals. However, when deer populations grew too large, often due to the absence of natural predators like wolves, they could overgraze an area, leading to soil erosion and a decline in plant diversity. This balance was delicate. Ecosystems thrived when predator and prey coexisted naturally. Humans sometimes intervened, managing deer numbers to protect forests and farmlands. Adaptation and survival. Deer had an incredible ability to adapt. From the snowy boreal forests of Canada to the dry savannas of Africa, where related species like the kudu lived, they adjusted their behaviors and diets to survive. In harsh winters, some deer migrated to lower elevations where food was more accessible. Others adapted their eating habits, shifting from tender leaves in summer to twigs and bark in winter. Their keen senses, sharp eyesight, acute hearing, and an exceptional sense of smell allowed them to detect danger early and respond quickly. Dangers beyond the wild. She knew the predators of the forest, but a new threat had entered her world. Humans, machines, roads. Once she saw one of her herds struck by a fast-moving shape on the black trail that cut through the woods. The humans did not stop. Vehicle collisions were now one of the leading causes of deer death in many areas. Another time, she smelled metal and food together. She never returned to that spot. Humans had studied her kind with trail cameras, tagged collars, and tranquilizers, but many others hunted for sport. She learned where not to go. Her map of the forest now included danger zones without scent or sound. The final season. Her coat had faded to a coarse gray, and the leaps that once carried her over fences now slowed to thoughtful steps. Yet, in her age, she commanded space. Other deer parted as she passed, sensing the weight of her memory. She had seen seasons of drought, of overgrowth, of human noise breaking into the silence. Sometimes, a trail camera would flash from a tree trunk, blinking its red eye at her as she passed. She did not linger. Humans studied deer now, tracking them with collars, tagging them to monitor migration, breeding patterns, and survival rates. But the forest told more than any chart could. She lay down beneath a great pine one day where the moss had softened with age. Around her, the forest moved on. She closed her eyes, listening to the same wind that had whispered to her as a fawn. Legacy in hoofprints. She did not rise again, but her story had not ended. Her body returned to the earth, feeding the roots that once shaded her. The trail she carved would be walked again by hooves not yet born. The predators she had once escaped still stalked the same shadows. The sun still filtered through the same leaves. And far away, another fawn, somewhere quiet and green, trembled on new legs, waiting for its mother's return. It would learn the same lessons. It would follow the same paths. It would carry the same unspoken wisdom in its bones.
If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and click on the bell icon to get notified for more updates.
And also check out our previous videos for more animal infacts.